For one last time, we bring you some racing action on a Saturday in 2022. This is the One-Up Nitro National Series, the season finale at Homestead Miami Speedway, and 7 drivers enter this race with varying degrees of hope for a championship here today. But tops among them is Patrick Smith. He needs a clean, solid day today, and he will be champion for the first time. Alongside me in the booth for today's race is Duke Gansack once again. And this is where it all comes down to. Everybody's been preparing for this moment probably since they left Rockingham. And at this point in time, a lot of people's focus is on Patrick Smith, see if he can lock up a championship before he goes up to the Superstar Series.
Yep, absolutely. And all he has to do today is finish 13th or better. That's going to be the main point that we are talking about watching that 04 car today. He needs to finish in 13th or better. However, if he doesn't, Alex Verget-Barube in the 3 car needs to finish 25 points better than Patrick Smith. And then there's there is a bunch of other scenarios. Alexa Luschan has a chance. Autumn Koger has a chance. Joshua Michael has a chance. And then Ryan Caggiano and Dylan Young have a very long shot chance. So we'll see what happens with that. But it all depends on Patrick Smith. If he can hold his starting position of 9th, he will be good throughout this race. But he's got a pit stop to get through. He's got a lot of laps to get through. A couple of long runs in front of him, and possibly some cautions and crashes, as you never really know what'll happen. And it's at the perfect venue of Homestead Miami Speedway, a great place to crown a champion, as we've already seen once this weekend.
So now we can look at the final starting lineup of the season, and in his final race in the One-Up Series, Ryan Caggiano puts it on pole. Wouldn't it be something for him to sign off his career with a victory at Homestead? That would be absolutely perfect for him. He's got a lot of competition, though, as Autumn Koger lines up second, Joshua Michaels, Dylan Young. These are all people with a shot at the championship, remember, and Alexa Luschan and Alex Verget-Barube aren't too far behind either. But starting last among the contenders is Patrick Smith, but he's still in a position he needs to be in, despite only having 1 win this season. He's got a fantastic consistency streak, and he is in the catbird seat to take a championship if he can just finish where he starts.
You're right, and you know, everybody is going to be involved in this race that has a chance at this championship. They're all starting within the top 10 there, so this is going to be a lot of fun to watch and pretty intense for a lot of these drivers. We saw a much more intense race than anybody was anticipating last night in the Truck Series. So we'll see what happens in this one today. I think it's going to be really exciting. I think that there's going to be drama. I think there's going to be a lot of drivers that are pushing possibly over the limit that their car will give them today to try to win that championship. So we'll see what happens. The outside lane is in play, the inside lane is in play, the middle is in play, and of course there's always that ever so exciting pit stop that's going to happen in the middle of this race at some point as well. So boy, I'm pumped. I'm excited. I love the Nitro National Series, and I love when we've got a great championship coming down to the wire like this one. So this is going to be pretty exciting to see what happens in this race today.
So with that being said, we've got 42 drivers ready to take to the track for one last time. This is the One-Up Nitro National Series from Homestead Miami Speedway, and the green flag is just moments away. So if you've been watching with us all season, you know better than to leave right now, because the racing action starts in mere moments from now. For one last time for Ryan Caggiano, and for one last time for the field, we're green at Homestead Miami Speedway for 81 laps, and boy, Ryan Caggiano gets a good start. He's got help from his teammate Michaels. They power it off into turn 1. Ryan Caggiano's hoping this is what the field will see for the next 81 laps.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Number 81 leads lap 1 of 81 here at Homestead Miami Speedway right now. He's staying out front, but I think that outside lane is going to absolutely start to come in here, if not a little bit later in this race. But the 18 is challenging on the bottom now for a shot, and these cars are significantly faster than the trucks were yesterday. So this is going to be an absolutely stellar race. These guys flying around Homestead Miami Speedway right now.
Absolutely, these guys are rocketing around this place, and Michaels is not content to sit behind his teammate. He knows that this is Caggiano's last race, but he doesn't really seem to care all that much. He's going for a championship. As Michaels dives it off into turn 3, Caggiano has the top working for him, and he should be able to lead coming off of turn 4 to complete lap number 2.
Yep, so the 81 now is taking the lead, and we're going to have to keep a good eye on, now that we're in the race, just remember to keep a good eye on Patrick Smith in the 04. He's running in 9th right now, and the 3 car as well is his closest contender, and he is the white car in this mix of black and blue cars, and then the 1 brown car as well in this front group. So that 3 car is one to keep an eye on, then the 50 as well as somebody that you have to keep an eye on. So all those guys are people, all those guys and girls are people that you're going to want to watch out for today in this race who have a chance to win this championship.
And I'm sure everybody down under is cheering on this man for one last time in this Nitro National Series. Hats off to him for a wonderful career. He won the championship last year. It's going to be tough odds for him to do it again this year. But regardless, it's been an absolute blast the rest of the way, and we hope he can get one last win and celebrate as he did at 12 Rivières earlier this season. But to the top of the racetrack goes Autumn Koger trying to get around Caggiano for the lead, and it looks like she'll be able to take it off of 4.
Yeah, absolutely. So Autumn Koger now has taken the lead and driven away with it a little bit. We saw a lot of that yesterday in the truck race, so this is absolutely standard for this type of racing at Homestead Miami Speedway. They'll drive around that outside lane and get a huge run and jump out front, and then eventually everybody else is going to catch up again and start fighting for that win. So they're going to be fighting for it all day today. We saw comers and goers yesterday. People coming up through the front had a better long run car than they did a short run car. So I expect a lot of the same, and we're only on lap 6 here. Tons and tons of racing still to go, and a pit stop as well in this race.
That's a good point. We do have a pit stop to make in this race. We expect it to come around lap 50 to 55, but don't be surprised if a couple guys try and undercut, try and make something happen. You never know how well that could work out for you, because these tires, they do wear here. We saw it in the truck race, and so Alexa Lucian, you notice, just barely has the fastest lap off of Patrick Smith by 2 1,000ths of a second. If Patrick Smith could have gotten that, he would have only needed a 14th or better to lock it up, but regardless, he needs a 13th or better because Alexa Lucian has that point. But still, Patrick Smith having a solid day. He's currently running 9th right where he started. So far, so good for driver of the 04 Dodge.
Yeah, so you're right. Patrick Smith, he needs to get all the points he can today, especially with everybody running so well in this race right now. You've got the 19, the 50, the 3, and a lot of these contenders are up here racing for the win, the 18. So, this is going to be a tough day. The pressure is on Patrick Smith right now to stay involved in this race. He's sitting in 8th right now.
And you can see they're fanning out like a pyramid out in the front. Autumn Koger leads Caggiano and Lucian, and behind them, Dylan Young, Alex Verget-Berube, and Joshua Michaels in triple wide formation. They power it off in the turn 3. Cody Goforth joining in on the battle, trying to get his first career win and salvage a good result for Team Day Spring. Man, that was a close shave for everybody there.
Yeah, the 81 kind of started it, and everybody followed. Starting to slide up into the wall coming out of the corner. They are pushing hard here at Homestead Miami Speedway. All of these drivers running up front. 3 wide, 2 wide. All the way back with all these championship contenders. A lot of blue spoilers here up front here at Homestead Miami Speedway. They match the wall. A lot of fun here in this race so far. And there's Alex Verget-Berube going to the outside lane, trying to make a move. Won't hit the wall like he did last time. But yeah, now he's got a great run. He's possibly going to pass the 50 as well. A great job. But Autumn Koger holding strong in the lead on the outside lane.
And you can see Patrick Smith, he's getting a move on Dylan Young for 7th. And you're right, there's a lot. The top 8 runners in this race are all playoff drivers. The only one in this lead pack that isn't is 9th place Ricky Freeman Jr. So a lot of playoff contenders in this race. Running up at the front as Alex Verget-Berube swoops past the 19 to move up into the lead.
Yeah, Alex Verget-Berube you're absolutely right. That was a swoop. Just absolutely drove by on the outside lane and has taken the lead away. So that's exactly what Alex Verget-Berube needs to do today. Go out there, lead laps, get bonus points, and that's going to be the best opportunity for him to possibly win the championship. But as long as that 04 is sitting there in 4th place, it won't be enough for the 3 car to just win the race. It's just simply not possible if the 04 stays in 4th place. But falling back now is Patrick Smith, and we'll see how this race plays out after the pit stop as well. That's going to be a big thing. We're going to talk about this, all day with these drivers running up front, running in the top 5, and the position they're in and all that, it could all completely change as soon as they're in the pits. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out once we get there. But for now, Alex Frigette-Barube leads a 2x2 battle behind for second place.
Yeah, and remember, these guys don't have to conserve as much as the trucks did, because these guys get to pit in this race. So they can afford to push a little more and get a lot more reward out of it. As you can see, Cody Goforth move up into the second spot. A fantastic run. Remember, these two were the two contenders at Old Spice Speedway to close out the regular season. Alex Frigette-Barube won out that day. Could it be Cody Goforth's turn to exact some revenge on the 3-car?
Yeah, they've been fighting all year like that, just a great little battle that they've had this season. And yeah, it absolutely could be the day to exact some revenge and maybe get the upper hand in that battle for the 01 car. We'll see what happens with Cody Goforth throughout the day, but Alex Frigette-Barube leading right now in that white number 3 car. Heading the way, and Autumn Koger is sitting there on the bottom as well, and all these cars with the blue spoilers, they made the playoffs for a reason. They're the top dogs of the series right now, and they all have fast race cars here at Homestead Miami Speedway, which is to be expected. They've all been preparing for this race since they made the playoffs, so they're in it to win it today, and everybody has got a shot.
And now we still have the top 8 in this race, playoff contenders, and a few more lingering in the top 20. So there's a lot to keep our eye on. There are 2 non-playoff contenders making their way towards the front. Ricky Freeman Jr., who just got past Joshua Michaels' 4A spot, as well as Elijah Ironhouse, who started pretty in the midfield. Now he's up into the top 10. So a couple of non-playoff guys trying to shake up the running order a little bit.
Yeah, so this is very interesting that how much this race is spread out. I wasn't, based on the first couple laps, I wasn't expecting it to spread out quite so much, but it absolutely has, and they're single file all the way through until that side-by-side battle for 4th right there. And even farther back, they're all single file, and they're spread out a little bit. I think that could be partly because these guys up front are all pushing really hard despite the fact that they're leading the way. So setting the pace right now, a really quick one at that, is Alex Frigette-Barube, and he's kind of stretching this field out and making it just more and more difficult for them to all catch up to him. He's got about a 5-car length advantage right now over Cody Goforth, and they're battling side by side. So great job done by Alex Frigette-Barube at the moment, but it's not good enough to have an advantage in the championship because of where the 04 is.
And speaking of the 04, Patrick Smith's making a move up into the podium places. He's getting around the 81 of Caggiano to move up into 3rd, and Patrick Smith could really use a good day today. He only needs a 13th place finish to lock up the title, but he would love to get a second win to prove that the first one wasn't just a random road course win. He has what it takes, and I think this is going to be a good day for him, as long as everything goes right, which I believe it should.
Yeah, you're right. And, to come into this race with such a lead, needs to finish 13th or better to absolutely clinch it, no matter what anybody else That's a great situation to come into a race with, especially the final one, and is just put on a great performance throughout the whole playoffs. And now going for second place in this one is that Monster Dodge in the 04 car. So yeah, this is going to be really interesting to watch and see what happens. But if that 04 car can get out to the front, that's the best way to decide if you're going to be the championship or not. Going to go out there, get that lead, dictate how fast the field is going, and make everybody try to pass you to try to beat you in the championship. That's the best way to do it. Everybody's starting to compress a little bit farther back and catch back up to Alex Frigette-Barube.
Now, Patrick Smith's running in second place. This is a great position to be in, because he'll only lose like about 6 points if it ends right now to Alex Frigette-Barube, and as a result, Smith would be champion. But Alex is doing a pretty good job holding on. He's got a lot of hungry challengers, including Smith. You got Lucian back there. You got Cody Goforth, Dylan Young. Remember, a few of these drivers are making their last races here before they go up to the Superstar Series. Patrick Smith's one of them. Dylan Young's another. Autumn Koger as well. These guys want to get one last win under their belts before they move on up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the last race is an important one to win for everybody. We talk about momentum throughout the season, but think about getting a win to cap off the season. Even if you end up not being the champion, to get a win, and you're the defending winner of the series for all throughout the off season. So that's a lot of time to think about that win, to feel good about yourself. The confidence builds, and then going into the next season, you just start off right where you left off, with all that momentum and confidence following. So this race is more important than just for the championship. It's important for a lot of these drivers. Sentimental value as well is thrown in there somewhere. So it's a big race for all these guys, and that's why it's so exciting. That's why it's so intense. That's what makes the final race of the season always so good. And the 92 has gone to the outside lane and has made a great move to pass for second place.
And we were looking a moment ago at Ricky Freeman Jr. He's the highest non-playoff driver. He's running in fourth. He's made a good charge for the field. He started in the midfield. He's making his way up into the top five now. And Freeman could be a challenger. Remember, his only win of the season came at Bristol, and he led every lap of that race. He's never had to come from behind to win a race before. Could this be today for that 91 to do just that? He's coming back to this car next year. He's the only driver returning to Finish Line Motorsports in the Nitro National Series next year. His teammate Koger is going to the Superstar Series, and Glenn Mixon replaces her, and he gets a new teammate as well, moving down from the Superstar Series as well. So Ricky Freeman Jr. is the only real spot of consistency over on that team, but they're going to be a force to be reckoned with next year, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll take a new role as the veteran of the team, somebody that can kind of show the ropes to everybody else, all the new teammates that are coming in. So that'll be a great new situation for Ricky Freeman Jr. next year. Meanwhile, up front, we've got two that are both on the outside lane, and they almost collided. Wow, the 92 slid up in front of the 50, and it sure did look like it was pretty close between those two on the outside lane. That could have been disastrous for their hopes to win this race today. But it wasn't, and they remain in second and third behind Alex Vergette-Barube here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Wow.
Yeah, Alex Vergette-Barube is doing a nice job holding off the lead while we were talking about Ricky Freeman Jr., but Dylan Young and Alexa Lucian are working hard to catch him. But at this point, Patrick Smith's doing everything right. He needs to get a championship. He needs to finish in the top 13, and he's doing that just fine. Yep. He's got a good run on Ricky Freeman Jr., though, to take over the fourth spot. That's an even better finish for that 014.
Yeah, he's in a really comfortable situation right now. He's running in fifth place. Of course, he's ahead of this little group right here. You don't want to be in the middle of it because that's pretty dangerous. But, he's doing everything he needs to do. He's sitting there in a good spot. So you just hope that car will remain as good as it is throughout this run and throughout, of course, the rest of the race as well. So he's sitting there right now in a solid spot, and we'll see if he's able to hold on to it. Or maybe he'll even improve it. He'll go up there and take the lead and then beat everybody at their own game. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but you're right, actually. These guys are spreading out in a very very dramatic fashion. Much more than we saw in the truck race last night. So maybe it's the different rules package with the cars over the trucks. The era works a little differently here. But regardless, despite it being a little more strung out, we have not had a shortage of on-track action. Not by a long shot. These guys are doing a fantastic job to close out the season. Closing in on 50 laps to go. This is going to be a fantastic way to end the things off.
Yeah, this 50 and the 92 have been having one heck of a battle for second place over the past few laps. They've been side by side, swapping lanes and everything like that. So they're putting on quite a show up front. But yeah, and the top 10, they're still all within 2 seconds of the leader, so it's not too strung out right now. But yeah, they're single file right now. We've got some comers and we got some goers as well. So this race is just falling into place as we speak about it, and everybody maybe just waiting for that pit stop. Everybody definitely trying to figure out what kind of strategy they want to do, what the most advantageous moves they can make are, and we'll just see how that goes. And everybody's figuring it out right now as we speak, talking to their drivers, seeing what the cars need, trying to figure out what kind of adjustments to make and everything like that. So this is going to be fascinating rest of the race. But here's the 92 and the 50 again, side by side.
And punching that big hole in the air is just going to let Patrick Smith close right back up. So I think these two want to settle this out, but they just can't decide who's faster among the two. They want to catch Alex Vergette-Barube, who's dominated this race ever since he took the lead, but these two are just having a hard time figuring out, hey, which is the better leader and which is the better follower. They both want to be the leader, but it's a bit hard to figure that out considering they're both in the dirty air of that 3 car.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is that they both definitely want to figure out who's the better leader and who isn't, but they both think they're the better leader. Of course they do. They want to be ahead of the race car drivers. So, right now it's a positional dispute between those two, but it looks like the 92 has won out over the 50 car, who has now had to go into defensive mode to try to defend that 3rd position over Patrick Smith in the 04. So the 92 able to go on the offense and try to pass Alex Verjeperub, who hasn't been challenged since he took the lead. And now, could this be it? No, maybe it is. The crossover down to the bottom lane for the 92, but the 3 car is going to have the preferred lane going through turns 1 and 2. And we'll see how this goes down the back straightaway. It looks like Alex Verjeperub will handily control this race, continue to control it throughout the back straightaway.
Yeah, Dylan Young's doing a fantastic job of challenging, but Alex has just got a great defensive car and a great defensive line. If he runs that middle lane, he can force Dylan Young to the bottom, or he can force him really high and risk right in the wall. Yeah. So, running that's about 1.5 lanes off the top, that's a great defensive line for Alex to run, because Young's not really able to capitalize on it. And neither is anybody else, really. So,
no, I was going to say, I think that Young right now, his car is better right where Alex is running, and it's a lot slower to run directly behind somebody. You need some air on that front spoiler to push that car down into the ground, give you a little bit more grip, a little bit more turn and handling. It's always better to have some more downforce on your car, and that you're just getting less of it when you're running right behind somebody. And now he's being challenged for 2nd place from the 04 car, who's sitting on the outside lane. And now Alex Verjeperub has got 2 lanes of trouble behind him to try to defend. So we'll see what happens here. This might be how he loses the lead. We'll see.
And here comes Joshua Michaels into the fray as well. He's up to the 4th spot, trying to find an opening between Smith and Young. All 4 of our manufacturers in the series are battling for the lead. We got a Chevy leading a Dodge, and then a Ford and Toyota battle side by side for 3rd. That is what we want to see.
That is absolutely true, and this is a great battle we have here. And in fact, the top 3 in our championship are 3 different manufacturers as well. So that's a great thing for this series. It shows it's alive, it's healthy, and this racing is just stellar. These guys today have put on quite the good show that we have here, and Alex Verjeperub maintaining that lead with all that downforce on the front end, the clean air helping him out a lot. But the 04, Patrick Smith really wants it. I mean, he has driven back up there, and now we've got 5 cars in this battle that could possibly strike at any moment here. They're all kind of closed in on Alex Verjeperub. Maybe that car is starting to fall off the longer this run goes.
Yeah, we're well past halfway through a fuel run here. And these tires are falling off. These guys are well off the pace of what they started. And here comes Patrick Smith for the lead. He wants to get a bonus point, because if he can do that, he'll only need a 14th place finish or better. He doesn't get it on this occasion, but he might going into turn 1.
Yeah, he's got a great line right now. He's sitting on the outside lane. He has help from the 50 car as well. So we'll see what happens if the 04 can get by Alex Verjeperub. It looks like he will. He's clear on the back straightaway, so it's a new leader on the back stretch. It's Patrick Smith has taken the lead away from Alex Verjeperub. They absolutely don't want him to get that point. We'll see what happens here with the 04. Looks like he's possibly going to lead this lap and get that point. Yep, he will. So now an extra point for Patrick Smith, and that's great job well done from that driver and that team right there.
Now Patrick Smith only needs to finish 14th or better to become champion of the 1UP Nitro National Series. And remember, Patrick Smith was supposed to run this series full-time in 2021, but he got called up to the Superstar Series before he got the chance. So, honestly, this is a great redemption story for Patrick Smith. He won Rookie of the Year in the Superstar Series in 2021. A fantastic job there. But he went down to this series because he wanted that championship that he could have gotten last year, and it looks like he's on pace to get it this year as Lucian takes the lead from it.
Yeah, so he was only able to lead that 1 lap, so So thank goodness he did, because he lost it pretty quickly, and he has brought the 3-car back with him. He's kind of stayed right ahead of Alex Verjeperub and pushed him a little bit farther back. We're watching some folks at the back of the pack
Nathan
here.
Meyer, he pit a few laps ago. He might have had an issue because this is a bit early to think about coming into the pits, but he did pit, and he should be able to make it to the end of the race from there. It might be a bit of a struggle once everybody else pits and they'll have fresher tires than him, but right now he's clicking off laps that are full seconds faster than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't a strategy move, of course, but it will prove to probably put him in the lead once everybody else pits, unless there's a yellow. Or at least for a few laps until they catch up to him. So that'll be a story to keep an eye on through the rest of the race. But yeah, now Dylan Young has taken the lead away from Alexa Lucian, and the 18 has followed. And Alex Verjeperub has fallen all the way back to 6th place, still stuck behind Patrick Smith right now. So that car does not handle quite as well in traffic. So honestly, it's probably good that he has fallen back into traffic. They're going to know what they need to adjust on to be able to work their way back up through the pack in the rest of the race. So disappointing, though, for Alex Verjeperub to be back down to 6th. They're side by side for the lead, coming down the front straightaway.
And Michaels takes it. Joshua Michaels to the lead for the first time this evening. So give him a bonus point. He pretty much neutralizes what his other challengers did, aside from Patrick Smith, he still only needs a 14th or better to lock in the title. But Michaels is helping his chances by leading a lap here. It's a very good sign for him. And remember, he won some of the first few races of the season. He won at Pensacola to start the season, and then a few weeks later at Las Vegas, but he hasn't won since. Could this be a bit of a resurgence for this 18 team, who are looking to bookend the season with victories in the first and last races of the season?
Yeah, I'm sure that he sure would like a bit of a resurgence from that team. You know, they've been having a rough patch of no wins since the beginning of the year, so that's just tough to start the year so strong and then struggle to find it again throughout the year. But here he is. He does have a mathematical shot at the championship, though slim it may be, especially with Patrick Smith running so well in this race. But leading the way is the best way to do it, to possibly go and give yourself a shot to win the championship. Definitely winning the race is the best way to go and try to do that. So he's doing it right now. We'll see if it continues.
Yeah, so Joshua Michaels is doing a great job. He's pulled a half-second lead over Dylan Young, and he's pulled a half-second over Autumn Koger and Alexa Lucian, who are battling for third. So they are getting strung out, but we had some great racing. And you can see in the back of your shot, Alex Verjeperub has passed Patrick Smith. He's passed Alexa Lucian, it looks like, and he's working on Autumn Koger. He's back up to third.
Yeah, so that car finally maybe has figured out how to drive it in the dirty air of everybody in front of him. So we'll see if he's able to maybe come back up here and fight for the lead once again. He has not lost touch with these guys at all. But you're right, Joshua Michaels is starting to drive away from these guys just all by himself. No challenge for the 18 car right now.
But we are closing in on pit stops. We're only about 5 to 10 laps away from those happening. And once they do, I expect this race to change very dramatically. We might see a few different drivers up at the front, depending on who finishes where, or should I say, depending on who pits when. And you see Patrick Smith, he's chilling out in 6th place, doesn't really need to worry about fighting anybody up at the front. I think he's content to ride this thing out from here on out.
Yeah, so it's all going to come down to
strategy.
As
I say that, he moves on Lucian for 5th, but my point still stands.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, it's going to come down to strategy in this race and who pits first. You know, I think that the difference in old tires and new tires is big enough that if you pit first, I think that you're going to have the best shot at winning this race. So we'll see what happens. A lot of the times we'll see Alex Verjeperub and his team stay out a little bit longer, a couple laps longer, and we've seen it almost work a couple times across our national series this season, that overcut strategy, but I'm not sure it will today. I don't think there's enough time left in the race. And, you know, I might sound like a broken record as we watch Dylan Young take the lead away from the 18, but, you know, I just don't think it'll work here in this race. So I think you absolutely want to be the first one to the pit lane if you want to give yourself the best shot of winning the race.
Yeah, although there is an advantage to pitting later here, because if you pit early, you'll have the fresher tires for longer. However, they're gonna fall off before anybody else is, and if you pit later, you're gonna lose out in the short run. But at the end of the race, you might be able to catch up. We've seen this happen before. We saw it at Rockingham last week.
Yes,
and that's a much worse track for tires than this one. So if it's doable at Rockingham, it should absolutely be doable here.
Yeah, well, meanwhile, Alex Verget-Barub has taken second place away, so he's on an absolute mission right now. He's got the fastest tires of anybody at this moment right now, so I'm sure that he's going to want to try to wait and extend that pit stop. He doesn't want anybody to pit for a few more laps at least so that he can get an advantage on this field right now. But yeah, it's he's driving really good right now, and I think that this will be fascinating to see when everybody pits. It's coming up soon here, absolutely. Now that we're on lap 50, we'll see which of these drivers, which of these contenders for the championship is the first to do it. I wouldn't be surprised, even if it was Patrick Smith that was the first one to come in a defensive, offensive move to keep the pressure on everybody.
So as these three run pretty much in single file, well, not for much longer, because Joshua Michaels makes a move on Alex here for second, but Dylan Young holds the lead. He's good. He's very good at tracks where tires fall off. He won at Texas World, of course, the last 2 years. He's got a bunch of wins at other places where tires are a big issue. Dylan Young, fantastic at saving tires, and I think he's showing that here right now. He's leading this race. He's got a comfortable margin, well, as comfortable of a margin as you're going to find here, and so far so good for the driver of the 92.
Yeah, well, think about last week at Rockingham when we were talking about that overcut strategy possibly working. The guy that almost made it work, he's sitting in second place right now, Alex Verget-Barub in that 3 car. He was the one. That was the team that called that late pit a couple laps later than everybody. And man, the last 5 laps of that race absolutely had a shot, but he got held up by Patrick Smith, who we're looking at right now. So that's a situation where, you know, it might just work. But again, I'm saying I don't think there's enough time in this race, and I'm quite surprised.
Oh, I hate to interrupt. We've got our first taker, and it's a bit of an oddball choice. It's Cody Goforth. He was running 7th on the racetrack. He's the first one on the pit road. So, and he looks like he's coming in all by himself as well. So he's got free reign on the pit lane right now. He's going to be in a big, really good position going forward.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that's a solid strategy choice. We got a couple takers with him right now. They're all behind him as well, and we're going to see what the leaders do here coming around. They're all running the top. I don't think any of them are going to come in this time. They're all on the top lane.
What they're going to do, I think, is they're going to call Goforth's bluff, and they are going to extend. And what they're hoping for is that their tires will be good enough at the end of the race to try and track him down. They've pretty much accepted that Cody Goforth will be the race leader when this cycle's out. What I think they're hoping to do is get a fresh tire advantage at the end of the run, try and chase him back down.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I'm not sure. I think that this is going to be the 3 and the 18 pitting here.
Yep, the 04 is coming with them, and the 19.
Okay, so this is our first couple of championship contenders to make a move here. It's Alex, it's the 18 of Joshua Michaels, and it's Patrick Smith as well, all coming into the pits. And there's a few cars in there that they're going to have to navigate around, but we're watching the 04 to make sure that this is good pit stop. This is a make or break moment for all these drivers in this race right now.
Here comes Patrick Smith. He pulls off into the pit lane. He peels into his pit box. Right side tire is going to go on. This is going to be a routine 4-tire stop for this team. So far, so good on the right-hand side. They spend a little extra time on the rights, just trying to make sure they're nice and tight. Going around to the lefts, lift the car up, put left side tires on it, lower the jack, and off he goes. Solid stop for the 04.
Yep, they both had solid stops right there. It looks like
Michaels is going to be slowed a bit trying to get around Autumn Koger. That looks like that's the only hiccup of this cycle so far.
So Joshua Michaels has lost the spot there. Alex Verget-Barub has remained in front of the 04 car, Patrick Smith, right now, and here's your leader, Cody Goforth, who is absolutely flying. You can see the speed difference. We have been watching those cars go slow around this track for so long, we had forgotten they were going slow. And now there's a fast car out of the track. Man, oh man.
And unless you see Young and Lucian pit there as well, and unless I'm mistaken, second place is going to be Nathan Meyer, who had that struggle, who had that flat, we believe, and he came to pit road early. He's going to be in second place, although his tires are going to be much more worn than everybody else. He'll fall through the field pretty quick, I imagine.
That is true, and you're right. So he is significantly slower than everybody else right now, but we'll see. I would assume that he's just going to try to stay out on this strategy and see.
Yeah, no reason not to. You got nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah, but he probably won't finish it, even in the top 10. We'll see when everybody else cycles out, but yeah, Cody Goforth right now has a big advantage. We'll see. We'll see if anybody's able to catch him. There's not a ton of time left in this race.
And you see Eric Monaco stayed out, or not, he didn't stay out. He pitted on the same lap as Goforth. He's now running, he's going to be running a net second once he gets around Nathan Meyer here. So a fantastic strategy by Eric Monaco to get around these guys. This is just a fantastic run for the Genesis Engineering team that haven't had a lot to celebrate in the Nitro National Series, but they're having a good run here. Runner-up spot, but here comes Alex Vergeperu. This is the car I think is going to challenge for the win if he can get by Goforth. If he can get to Goforth in a reasonable amount of time, this is going to be the car to watch.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You know, he is on a mission right now. He has no reason to try to save his tires at all at this point. You're not going to get to the point in this race, especially having pitted later, that they're going to start to fall off in a major way. But critically, the 04 car of Patrick Smith is sitting in 7th place, which is plenty enough for him to clinch the championship no matter what Alex Vergeperu does, despite the fact that he's just gone into 3rd place. And I believe with that 5 car falling back, the 04 is going to overtake him and sit in the 6th place as well. So without any hiccups here from the 04, he's looking like he's in a really good position to possibly win the championship.
Yeah, Cody. Okay, the question for Cody Goforth is, he's got a 4-second lead over Alex Vergeperu. That is his competition right now. There's 22 laps to go. I think Eric Monaco is honestly Cody Goforth's best friend at this point. If he can hold up Alex Vergeperu and Keon Daly as well, if he can hold up both of them for a long enough time, I think that Cody's going to have a lot more of a gap to work with. But the 3 and the 52, they've got to start working together. They might be on different teams. They might not even be racing for the same goal, but they're working to try and take this race win. And I think Alex is going to get around Monaco right here.
Yeah, wow, great move. Oh, and he gets squeezed at the edge of the corner, and Eric Monaco wisely jumps back down at the track, but the 3 had to jump out of the gas.
Yeah, and Alex did not like that one bit, I imagine.
Yeah, man, oh man, that was a really close call right there, and Keon Daly has stayed out of it for the time being, and it looks like they will start to work together a little bit. I kind of expected that 52 to maybe try to pass both of them in a big slide job, and here comes the 3 again on the outside of Eric Monaco.
Yeah, this time he should be plenty good to clear.
Yeah, so just absolutely just drives by him right there, and now Eric Monaco no longer an issue, and the chase begins for the 3 car to try to get to the lead.
You see Glenn Mixon, he has the fastest lap of 31.64, well clear of everybody else. But now, Alex Vergeperu's gap is 3.2 seconds. Can he close that in 20 laps time?
Wow, so he gained 0.8 of a second in the last couple of laps. After that, he was behind Eric Monaco. We'll see how much he gains on this.
Yeah, let's see what it is in clean air. That's the critical thing. He was behind Eric Monaco at his previous laps. We'll see what it is. Oh, he gained 0.4 of a second on that lap alone. I believe he's going to... I don't know if he's... Well, he's definitely going to catch the 01. But once he gets into the dirty air of Cody Goforth, I think he's going to start to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, he was solid in the beginning of the run earlier in the race, and then at the end of the run, but in the middle of the run that we saw, he wasn't super good in dirty air especially. So we'll see what happens, because I feel like the end of this race is going to happen in the point of the last run that was the very middle. So we'll see if he'll definitely be able to get there at the pace he's catching, but if he'll be able to pass, of course, that is another question. So we'll see what happens when the 3 car gets there. But Keon Daly still struggling to get by the Eric Monaco back there. He just now did. So no problems for the 3-car right now. Nobody behind him, nobody in front of him, and a race to go out and try and win. So we'll see. But the 04 car sitting in 5th place with the championship handy in hand right now. No question. I mean, if he's able to stay there, he will be the champion. So we'll see what happens here. But the 3-car is going to desperately try to catch the leader and try to win this race.
Oh, yeah, you can see the gap closed by another 4/10 on that last lap. Alex is on a tear. He is looking to extend his winning record in this series. He's already got the most wins all time. He's looking to get more, of course, and he very well could come back next year and win the championship himself. But right now, he's not focused on the championship. He's focused on winning. And he just took another huge chunk out of Cody Goforth's lead. So I think Alex is going to be in a very good position by the end of the race. Question is, can he get by?
You know, in all those times, I mean, I sit up here, and of course, I'm a team owner for Alex Farjeparub, and I would criticize that crew chief call every single time. I feel like we're watching this race up here, and we say that, you know, it's probably better to pit first in the cycle, and you want to be out front. You want to make everybody try to catch you, but here we are yet again. Alex Farjeparub with the fresh tires. He's sitting behind right now, but he's got those fresher tires, and he's driving down the leader, so we'll see what happens in this race. The time is running out, but I think that he's got a really good shot at getting up there and challenging for the win, despite the fact that it's not what I thought was the correct strategy today.
We got 15 laps to go, coming to 14 now. We'll see what the gap is between Cody and Alex at the line. It's a second and a half. He gained another 3/10. And to his credit, Keon Daly's following him along very nicely. So, at this point, yeah, if Alex gets held up by the 01 long enough, and keep in mind there is a lap car up there, John McFadden, so they could easily catch him by the end of this race. And if Alex gets held up by the 01 or the 76 or both, Keon Daly could be right there.
Oh yeah, Keon Daly is going to be involved in this thing in either of those cases, which are both very likely, I'd say. I think that Alex probably won't be able to pass this 01 in just one foul swoop.
But Alex did just gain a half a second on that last lap. This is a big moment for him.
He might be starting to sniff a little bit of a draft back there, you know, just a little bit, maybe down the straightaways at least. And yeah, that thing is on fire right now. It's a rocket ship around this racetrack here at Homestead Miami Speedway, doing a great job of wheeling that race car.
That's the thing about dirty air, though. It's fantastic down the straights because you get a draft. It's horrible in the corners because you need that downforce. So it's a risk versus reward, but
down to 0.9, yeah.
Yeah, Alex is gaining at a rapid rate, and he's going to have 11 laps to close the gap. I think Alex is in a fantastic position right here.
Yeah, this is looking really good, but again, it's very possible that he'll get held up by that one. Keon Daly becomes involved in this thing, and that will absolutely change the game that we have right here. So this is very fascinating. And then don't look it's not too far behind Keon Daly is Patrick Smith in the 04, somebody else who was a contender in that first run of the day. So you know, if this group gets a little bit stacked up, they will all be part of it. And at that point, it'll be anybody's race to win.
So we're coming to 10 laps to go this time in the 2022 season. Cody Goforth is looking for that first win. He came down to this series to win races. He was having a pretty mediocre season in the Superstar Series last year. He had enough of that. He wanted to win races, and he signed with Team Dayspring as his best opportunity to do that. He's done fantastic this season at putting himself in the right place at the right time, but it's been an execution error most of those times. This could be his time if he can hold off this 3-car for for like 9 more laps. Can you hold on for 9 more laps, Cody?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, he's got a hard charging Alex Farjeparub behind him, who's now gained a little bit more on that. So
yeah, but he's gaining a lot. He's gaining a lot less now than he was. Yep. I think he's getting caught up in that dirty air a little bit.
Yeah, but now he's in the picture. So that mirror, looking in the mirror, if you're Cody Goforth, is starting to look scarier and scarier because this guy has driven you down from 4 seconds back. I mean, that's a dangerous thing. It could get in his head a little bit. We'll see what happens. But Cody Goforth holding on for the moment, just desperately. And it looks like, oh, the gap has changed right there. So he is still gaining. He's now down to 0.37 seconds back at the line last time. So Alex Verjeparub continues to close here at Homestead.
Cody Goforth, this is going to be the longest few laps of his life right here, trying to hang on to a victory in the One-Up Nitro National Series. Alex Verjeparub behind him. He's got the most wins all time. He's trying to capitalize on Cody Goforth's strategy. Hopefully he can make a race out of this, but we're getting close to the end of this thing. We've got 7 laps to go now.
And he's right on his bumper right now. That 3 car is right there, man. He's on him. So we'll see. This is the point where he could start to get held up, or he's going to be able to make a move. It's going to be turn 3 and 4 this time that we see if Keon Daly will have any chance of catching up, or if this is going to be a foul swoop and Alex Verjeparub driving home to the victory. We'll see. He's going to go to the bottom. He's going to make it side by side.
Coming to 6 laps to go now. They're side by side at the line. Imagine if that was the race for the checkered flag.
Oh.
Cody Goforth just barely holds on to the lead by 3/100ths of a second. They're still side by side for 1 and 2. Oh my goodness, we're coming to 5 laps to go next time they cross the line. This is still anybody's guess. And look, Dylan Young's still in the mix in the 92. He's right on the back of the Daly Smith train. And those 3 are gaining on these 2 on a rate of knots.
Yeah, so Alex Verjeparub is not in the preferred lane right now, and of course he had to go there because the 01 was running the top, but now he has fallen a little bit farther behind him, so he's going to have to try to figure out another way around that 01. I don't believe the bottom is going to work. He doesn't have enough time to try to make it work down there. He's got to sneak to the top somehow.
And I don't think Cody Goforth's going to let that happen. He's seen what that 3 car's been able to do. He's been running behind him most of the day. He's seen what the 3 car can do. And now he's going to run that top of the racetrack just to force him to run a line he doesn't want to. But despite that, he's still able to get alongside. For the most part, we're coming to 4 laps to go from Homestead.
Yeah, I think that Alex is going to have to find another way. Every time he goes down there, he's losing more time than he's gaining, so he's got to have to figure out how to get to the outside. Maybe the cars that are coming up behind him will help. There's a lap car ahead. This thing is coming down to the wire, and it's all closing in on the 01 car right now of Cody Goforth. This is an incredible battle to the checkered flag.
Coming to 3 laps to go. Cody Goforth's got to hold on for dear life. That steering wheel's got to feel white hot in his hands, but he's got to do everything in his power to try and hold on. Coming to 3 laps to go. They're still side by side.
And Cody Goforth gets a great run off the top lane through 3 and 4, and that's exactly where he needs to be able to hold off the 3 car who drove him down from 4 seconds back and is now stuck right behind him, trying to pass him on the inside lane, but there's nothing down there for him. So Cody Goforth has done a great job, and he's starting to drive away from the 3 car a little bit down the back straightaway.
But now Goforth's in the dirty air of John McFadden. This could be big. This could be critical where McFadden decides to run. He could hold up either one of these guys. Coming to 2 laps to go. We have 2 laps to go. Looks like McFadden's going to pull down to the inside, let Cody Goforth by. But in doing so, that's going to hurt the 3.
Oh, man. He shouldn't have gone down there. Oh, no.
Well, would you want him to hold up the 01 even more?
Oh, my gosh. That is just... The 3 cars should not have gone down there behind the 76. That was just a bad move. I'm not sure why he's running the bottom right now, but now the 01 is driven away, and he's taking the white flag at this point, and now he's still... These guys behind have not gotten by the lap car, so this, for Cody Goforth, is a miracle.
1 lap to go for Cody Goforth and for the entire Nitro National Series field this season. Cody Goforth down the back straightaway for the final time. He's got a big lead, but can he hold on to it? Because Keon Daly's got to get a huge run off the top. He's rip-riding the wall. Is Keon Daly? This could be his big chance. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Coming through 3 and 4 for the final time. Daly's got a massive run off the corner. Goforth slowing. This could be big at the line. Goforth takes it at the line.
Wow, that was really close at the line, but Goforth holds on and wins the race. An amazing job from him to hold off Alex Vergeparu.
And behind him, now passing him on the track, Patrick Smith came home 4th in the race. He did absolutely everything right, and he is your 2022 1UP Nitro National Series champion. A fantastic drive from Patrick Smith. He finishes in the same position as his number. He is your champion after a hard-fought season. He only got 1 win, but he was the model of consistency. Take an extra lap, why don't you? You've earned it at this point. A fantastic drive for Patrick Smith and for Cody Goforth as well. Goforth, a fantastic win. He held off everybody at the last moment. But for Patrick Smith, what a drive to the championship this was.
Yeah, just a great job all around for that whole team, to execute on the pit stop today. They executed in the race. They executed with the setup of this race car, and he never fell below the position that he needed to finish ahead of in this race today. So he never gave his competitors any chance to breathe or get above the water at all. He had him down all day today, and that's exactly what he needed to do. He did everything right. He finished in 4th place. It could have been better, even then that they were all with that lap car there. So he was right there in the mix. One more lap, and who knows what would have happened. Possibly he would have been going to victory lane as well today. But a great job from Patrick Smith and his whole crew to get the win today.
So what a drive from Patrick Smith, and what a season this has been. A fantastic year of 1UP Nitro National Series racing, and guess what? In a few months' time, we get to do it all over again. So be sure to join us in early March for the start of the 2023 season. We've got new cars, we got new drivers, we got old faces in new places. It's going to be an absolute blast. So from Duke Anzac and from myself as well, thank you so much for watching the 1UP Nitro National Series this year. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing it to you live, and see you guys at Daytona next year. It's going to be an absolute blast. So we're signing off for now, but please bear with us, because next year should be even better than this.